Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for divanarchy and interface. Haha, with the couch in space. It's space couch time as far as I understand the concept of time this far out into the cosmos. It is great to talk with you all once again from this pit of balls under which, as we've said before, is totally a couch. I'm not changing the name of the show because there's a couch under here. You just can't see it, and I have a secret girlfriend in Niagara Falls. Let's go to our advertisers that buy our space fuel. It's our wonderful patrons, thanks to Gozer Games. I hate artists. Lured by Radio, my buddy Pat from high school. The Ramen Don. Grim Reaper. He's so funny on that show. Bremily from New Jersey. Ray from Providence. Fly ahead all the way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Walter Magoon, leatherworker extraordinaire. Hunt, Hent, Hawk for the ditch. And Glitch on Twitch. Get your name in the credits at patreon.com/Gothicles. Glitch also wanted to thank the Best Friends Animal Shelter, the finest no-kill animal shelter in all the land. We also are contractually obligated by fiduciary duty to thank our brutal corporate overlords, who is, of course, screwed it up. Did I lose the... it's Tiger Squawk Records. Check out tigersquawkrecords.bandcamp.com. We're just going to do a little bit of space maintenance right here. And there we go. We're just gonna fix it, solving space problems. We got the new bit, man. It's so great. You want to check out the new Ghost Proxy out of Montreal. It goes off. Please get that new Batavia. Until then, it's quite good. New Severed Skies. It's my favorite Severed Skies out of Roanoke, Virginia. Beyond Horror from Israel, from Sydney, Australia. Vivarium from Grass Plot. You got to see how Cure Light Wounds from Gasoline and Vertebrate out of Boston. You want to check out Slave Dolls from Italy out of Sydney, Australia. Back to Montreal, Canada with Ghost Proxy. And then it's to Vancouver with Duckbag TM. And then we go to Edmonton with new signing Hollow Form. And then back down to Australia. She's just been on fire, more Italy. And then you can get more of that at tigersquawkrecords.bandcamp.com. Update your C++ redistributable, says Eric from Unicode Machine, my coworker. In real life, we found each other through Space Couch. It's like the craziest thing. It's gonna completely change my life. Speaking of people that have indelibly changed my life, it has been a space crime. We have not had them on heretofore. I am looking forward to learning all about people I've known for a while, some of whom play in the Gothicles. Let us spend no further space minutes dilly-dallying on the space bush. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome... Come on, guys.
What's up?
Hey, we're phasing in and out of space here ourselves.
See,
You are in space. Oh,
there we go. We disappear. See,
oh, it's great.
I'm in the vacuum.
Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
Yes. Oh, getting erudite off the bat. Well, you've certainly cast your magic upon me with the new single Five Era on Twitch says yo. Um, well, let's get into a little bit of that black magic with your latest single, Spellbound, featuring our mutual friend Morgwish. This will be cut 7, if I can. Oh no, we're gonna crash into the sun. Cuts. And we're back. Awesome. So we have the interphasing interface with their latest super dope fire Spellbound featuring the indelible Morgwitch. How'd you come to work with Tara?
I've known Tara for a very long time, and I would be hard pressed to figure out how in the world we actually met. Knew her from somewhere on, I think, Twitter or something like that.
It's the industrial circle, right? You're like, how did I meet John or whatever? Like,
how did I meet Brian? I don't know.
Right.
How did we meet each other? I don't know. We were just like always. It's like we were just always there. It was like something that just.
That the shining thing. You've always been here. So then, when she started making music, was it just a natural, like, oh, we got to get her on an interface track, sort of a thing?
I don't remember how I knew her, but then like I saw this thing a couple of years ago where she was like, I think she opened up Cold Waves or did like the Cold Waves party, and she was like badass. I was like, I gotta work with her on something, and I came up with I have a tendency to come up with like a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, my folder on my Mac at home is like full of like 16 bar loops, and every once in a while I'll sit down with John and be like, dude, we got to start doing something with these things here. They're like, and one of them just totally, I could hear Tara's voice across. So I sent it to her and she was like, whoa, yeah, I want to do this. And so, then the magic happened.
That's awesome. Well, that sort of springboards me into, I'll ask you now before I forget, because I wanted to ask you about process. Because one sort of thing that I've noticed, and now it'll be a little different because you guys are like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I always understood interface to be pretty much Eric, but it sounds like you guys have really been working towards a real duo model. So that's
it waxes and wanes.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we're like every other industrial musician that we have lives, jobs.
Totally, yeah. We'll get into that too.
Stuff. So, I founded the band and everything. I brought on John about 20 something years ago as a live member, but he's always been like, yeah, man, I want to write with you. And, and he's come over, he got really involved with Beyond Humanity, got really involved with Where All Roads Lead. A lot of the movie samples you hear in our music are more often than not him. Shortwave radio, the number station sample.
I love it.
Album. Yeah, that was all John.
Oh, well, rock stars are jumping in. We have DJ Surasuni on Twitch and Morda from Phantasmagorical Animal in the chat room as well. Well, okay, cool. Well, the reason I bring that up is because it's like, if it's a true duo, it sort of throws off the two models, like because I've noticed on Space Couch when we talk about process, people have two models. One which is like what I tend to do, which is like kind of a lock in the track thing, where it's like, I'm sitting down and this song is gonna be about fucking whatever, Three Toed Sloths, and it's like everything I do goes into that. And then there's like the Lego model, like where that sounds like you guys do, or like, all right, I'm gonna build these Legos and these pieces, and then like later I'm gonna dump out this bucket of Legos and put these pieces together. Yeah, that's the way you guys
There,
tend to
there,
work.
there have been a bunch of three-toed sloths in my history. And it's fun. The funny thing is usually when I'm gonna got a new piece of gear in front of me and I'm just trying it
Okay.
out. Like I got a new synth a whole bunch of years ago, and I ended up writing Destination with it, like
Okay.
right off. And there was another one I wrote. What song was it? Where I got a new synth that I just wrote the whole song like from it within like
Oh,
the
okay.
span of an hour.
You tore off its clothes and fucked, basically.
Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah.
John kind of misses out on the fun, but we have
Well,
Legos that it
no, I get
offsets.
the fun where I come over and Eric opens up like 47 Cubase projects of 8-bar loops, and he's
You're
like,
like,
"Well, what do I do with all these?"
oh, you're the cleanup guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, guys should make it happen. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, you're the dude. You're like the badass in the suit that comes in after the maniac has gone crazy with the chainsaw.
How are we gonna clean up 47 files into 2?
But then you get, body flow out of it, and you hear it on
Yeah.
every dance floor for the next fucking ever. With that sort of process, how much do you, just to bring it back to Spellbound, do you come to Tara and be like, I have a very clear idea of what I want, or do you go, here's a sick beat, go? Like, how much do you leave open to interpretation?
It was definitely more of the former. I came up with this really cool groove going on, and that weird like choir-y type thing. It was just me just messing around and coming up with that thing, and I'm going, hey Tara, what do you think of this? She's like, oh, I really love it. And I said, well, and so to use your words, like here's a sick beat, go with it. Because I want to, if it's a collaboration, I want to respect the person to write their own thing over it. So yeah,
Totally.
she that whole thing.
Definitely. Love it. Thanks, man. Well, on that note, like, even like since like early days, at least to me, and I would imagine to our viewer, that track with Tara is awesome, says DJ Osiris, and you will agree. Interface has always been sort of like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing in terms of audio quality. Like, it's always been sort of a cut above. And I think 100% of the Space Couch audience is in an industrial band. So I was just wondering if, like at high level, like if you could just throw out some like production tips. Like I saw a T-shirt once that just said "high pass filter everything." Like, is there any like standard sort of boilerplate things you could offer to our audience to how to make a track sound good?
Have no ego.
Have no ego.
Take criticism.
Okay.
And a great help for the last couple of releases we've been doing is I've been kind of like leaning on our good friend Lisa Gosselin a little bit, because she's like got some really good tips, and it's good to have a little outside person once in a while to help out.
Big shout out to Lisa. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. And it is worth noting that there's along with FGFC and like really only them, like Interface, maybe like Silverwalks on the Brook. Nah, not really. Like Interface is like New York City industrial to me. Which is really cool. Like, you guys like just
take pride in that. Like, I think we are like one of the longest running New York City acts in this scene, other than like maybe like, I don't know, maybe Bile might be a little bit ahead of us at this point, or Android Lust maybe, but like, and actually they're in Cali now, so I don't even I think they've disqualified themselves.
Like Vampire Freaks and like Chris Mack and all that. Like you guys are big into that New York City scene. Now that I live in Boston, like I feel like a little bit more of a kinship to it. But it's just cool that you guys like have such a I don't know. Locations are big to me, so it's like I think that it bleeds through you guys, the New Yorkness of it, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Maybe in some sense you're, pardon the pun, industriousness, because everybody knows that Interface are the remix kings. Gothicals have benefited greatly there. Excuse me,
Oh,
burping into the mic. Got benefited greatly therefrom. I was wondering if you have any sort of. We like to get a little, pardon the pun, cosmic here on Space Couch. But I do want to get practical because I want to ask if you have a philosophy or when it comes to an approach of remixing. Um, and then anything you can speak to on just the quantity. Like you're a fucking machine, you guys, dropping out these
um,
remixes.
well, we came, we came out of actually even be a little more geographically specific. We came from Long Island
Okay.
as, as a scene, which was like really tight
Yeah.
knit. And these are just things you just kind of did for everybody. Like you kind of
Mm.
like, brought everybody up and
Okay, is that what it is?
it got
Fascinating.
to the point. It got to the point where if a band wasn't bringing the other ones up, they were kind of like, I don't need to name names, but they were kind of like pushed immediately aside for not.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I just thought it'd be like a great way to kind of like get involved. And it actually even got me better at like producing my own tracks quicker.
Fuck
And,
yeah.
and like, because it put us on like time schedules at
Mm.
times. We used to be really too long. I remember like we
Oh
worked on
yeah.
Beyond Humanity for like a year and a half.
Mm.
Whereas like Where All Roads Lead, we got that done in like 6, 7 months
That's
from
awesome.
getting to end because it was just like, let's get this done and it makes you focus more. Like I got to get this done. And I definitely, and as far as like, the philosophy of it, I love taking stuff that doesn't sound like us. So it's like really unique
Mm-hmm.
or just having fun.
Yeah.
Like John right away noticed that when we did the remix for you for Konami Code, we noticed that the theme to Contra and Konami Code were in the same key.
Yeah, I
So
had no idea.
all I had to do was just time stretch it to the
Oh,
right.
it's so
It
good.
worked.
Because there's so much going on there. I have to jump in because you're like making my brain light up with like 5 different things. Because I wasn't even expecting the locality angle to work its way in, but I'm glad that it did. And maybe that's why we get along so well, is because like we all kind of come from punk, or it's like Chicago and stuff like that, where it's like this real tight knit community, like yeah, let's all go together. Where it's like a lot of industrial by design, sort of people come, like myself included, come into that because it's like, oh, it's just me and this computer. I can live in this box and not have to get outside and hell yeah, my project is gonna go on first. And like, why would I fight? Like, it's so insular, kind of mechanically, that I think maybe it's very easy to fall into that trap. But if you come from a community where it's like, yeah, let's all cram into Steve's basement and you do 20-minute punk rock, so that's 50 fans a shot. Like, yeah,
Well, a little known trivia fact here, John. Tell them about your background before you met me.
Oh yeah, no, I was
Talk about
yeah,
punk.
I was heavily into the punk scene out here. It was huge in Long
cool.
Island.
Cool.
Actually, the first show we played was in a local punk bar,
Nice.
and we got kicked out for blowing up that little tiny PA.
Blew out the PA system. Yeah, John's Interface debut was cut short after 10 minutes.
Well, at that time, like, what was that, like 98 or something?
99.
Yeah, well, when you would show up to the punk venue with like a Yamaha QY10 or something, the sound was like, what the fuck? What do you want me to do? What? What is this? Like a keyboard? Get out of here. Where's your guitar? Like, I don't have a guitar. What do you mean you don't have? How do you make music?
I mean, they had a 1980s like oscillating fan cooling off the back of the PA.
God damn it! Oh, I shudder to think about how many times I seriously almost ended my life from heat stroke in like a noise jam in like some dude's attic.
Yes,
but it's a wonderful sort of substrate to like kind of build all the way up to these visions of modern life, if you will, where you're just kicking out these amazing remixes And to bring up another point I liked that you brought up is the time. Like you'll get a call from Unicode machine. Yo, I need a remix, and the release is coming out Tuesday. Eric would never do that to me. I'm just making fun of him because he's here. And you're like, all right, I guess I'm not going on vacation this weekend, so I can do this. Yeah, but it makes you super fast. I love your electronic savior shirt. That is, of course, always done.
Gotta represent
on a
Jimmers. Come on.
timeline. Gotta represent Jimmers. He's talking about ES7.
Yeah.
He's
so
talking about it. Yeah, he's floating it around.
which means it's 100% happening.
No, totally.
Yeah, I know. Jim likes to be coy with that stuff, but we'll be ready. We're always happy
like,
to.
Like anybody bought it when he goes, okay, that's the last one. You're like, all right, okay, buddy. Make Grass Projects here. Hell yeah, says represent
Right.
Tiger Squawk. Well, let me ask you this. This is just sort of body flowing nicely from one subject to another. Having been around since the mid '90s, like, talk to me about the evolution of your sound. Let's start there. Like, did you come from like a pretty like rudimentary thing to like more of trance stuff, or was it always sort of that interface industrial kind of dance from day one?
Well, I started Interface as a senior in high school, and I was messing around with all these.
Wow.
Yeah, I was messing around with like I had these like crappy like Yamaha PSR keyboards and drum machines. I had a Casio drum machine, and I would just run. I would run through I borrowed somebody's Boss DS1 to.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And, yeah, I
Boss
I
DS1.
kept like making these. Yeah, I made these like demo tapes or instrumental, very minimal. I didn't really trust myself as a singer, so I was trying to like find a singer, and then like I ended up joining a cold wave band from Brooklyn called Valve.
Okay.
And I learned a lot about like gigging and doing everything there. But so the band broke up because we were kind of losing our direction because the cold wave fad had kind of died out pretty quickly. We're like, well, what are we going to do now? So I just kind of like struck out on my own, and I kind of like took what I learned about Valve, and the next thing you know, the Artemis complex was there.
Awesome. Well, as long as we're flying through space, ladies and gentlemen, Superstar Rex Arcana is
Superstar Rex Arcana.
Yes. Do you know why aggro never caught on in the galaxy? Because in space, no one can hear you scream.
Oh,
you goofball. Well, speaking of screaming, let's say, we have a father in the house. John, congratulations.
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
Congratulations. We have a dad.
Not only have you helmed the Gothicals live to expert degree in Amityville, you are now helming a new arc in your life. Obviously, I'm not going to say like does fatherhood change stuff because like it's going to change everything. But like, I'm curious as to like small kind of like I never thought about that. Like, what little things have you noticed that fatherhood has changed in your life?
Oh, there's nothing really little. It changed everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world.
But it's an absolute. There's just more of maybe what me as a non-parent would expect, like just a complete different planet. Okay.
I'll tell you. Yeah, this weekend a good friend of mine came up from Florida. I haven't seen him in like 16 years, and a whole group of my friends. We hung out every day for years in high school and moving forward. Now we all have kids, and it was just amazing seeing our children play together.
Oh, wow. What a crazy moment.
My friend looked at me. She goes, John, our children are playing together.
Oh, my God.
But it's been crazy.
I love being an honorary uncle to her, too. It's great.
Yep.
Well, Rex says he's here for Scooby. Oh, is that? Okay.
Scooby, he's upstairs.
Scooby's upstairs. I know. We'll get him.
All right, cool. I don't know if he was making fun of me because people say I sound like Shaggy when I do the Gothicals voice. But, okay, so a Scooby is a dog of some
he's
sort.
Just a little chihuahua running around.
Oh, fantastic.
I guess he's kind of like Interface's mascot.
Okay, cool. Well, we do love celebrity pets here on Space Couch. We will we will do an industrial dog calendar at some point. Car and dog.
Nice. There we go.
It's going to be on there.
Yes.
But speaking of running around, I gotta ask, John, you are also a paramedic, so just does anything phase you at this point? Where it's like, maybe interface doesn't get a sound check, but you're like, yeah, I just had some dude's heart in my hand the other day, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've had other band members in the past that were too critical of the sound check thing, so we're kind of used to that.
Okay.
But no, I'm so jaded and salty these days, and I just it is what it is at this point.
Okay.
You just show up to have a good time, and everybody's.
Listen, I got my in-ears in. Everything sounds fine to me. So
yeah, I mean, it's like you're just like, yeah, I just did a bypass on some dude in the back of a sedan. Like, the fact that the sound guy's late doesn't faze me. Like,
if his face was off, that would be cool too.
Oh wow, unreal balls of steel on this guy. Just takes care of stuff. I have been bad on asking guests about shows. Is there any gigs you want to plug before I go any further?
No, not at the moment. I mean, we've had a really unlucky run with Mechanismus the last 2 years, where I kept getting COVID right before.
I forgot. I was pumped to hang out with you guys because I just did Gasoline.
Yeah, that was the incredible worst luck in the world. But
2 times in a row for our listeners.
Getting that text message from Eric the day before going, what do you think we should do? I was like, what the fuck?
Pause right there. For our listeners, Mechanismus Festival is this. I hate to be mean to our guests, but I gotta say it, kick-ass festival in Seattle. It is, so far as I'm concerned, the American Wave Gothic Treffen. And I have been lucky enough to play it a few times with various acts. Our guest today have certainly made it in on merit. Everybody I know is an Interface fan, but Mother Nature hates you guys 2 times in a row. You had to bow out due to illness. Tell us about that.
I got COVID, and I got tested positive for COVID like immediately before each one. Not really much else to say. It was just like, wow, the universe really doesn't like me at this point. Right.
What are the chances?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're going to get back at the universe right now because it's feature time here on Space Couch. Let's do a little bit of radiation round, called that because lightning is exceedingly rare in space. No wrong answers. Say whatever you want. Hardware or software?
We do both.
Both. Where did you go to high school, and what was your favorite subject?
We both went to high school in Long Island.
I didn't go to high school.
Okay.
Well, tried to help you there. I don't know what my favorite subject was. I squeaked by.
And squeaked by. Cool.
I really liked cutting out and drinking. So
cutting out and drinking. Got it. And favorite city to play outside of NYC?
Ooh.
Oh, that's not even a question. Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh.
Yimmers makes that. He has made.
Yeah, why Pittsburgh?
Between the scene, the friends that I've made there, and Jim, and the label being there, it is really literally our home away from home.
Oh God, I'm so glad you're just lighting up my brain left and right. I'm gonna jump in for a second here because the first time the Gossicles did it, like no offense, look, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so that is as much of as a cultural blind spot as you can get. Like, people's eyes don't even focus when you say Milwaukee. It's like there's just like nothing there. And then so where I'm going with that is that, like, I didn't really know what Pittsburgh was, like, meaning like, yeah, it's a place, there's steel and like a football team and like whatever. And
steel and football, there you go.
Yeah.
And
steel
but that's
football.
I just didn't know. It wasn't like, some industrial Seattle mecca or like this history of wax tracks like Chicago, or this cultural icon of New York City. It's just whatever.
It didn't need any of that history. It needed Jim. He made it.
And then, that's exactly. You go there and you're like, what the fuck? This is incredible. I've sold more merch than I have with the last 2 shows. Everyone knows all the words to the goddamn song. This is like, and
the craziest thing ever that the first time we ever played Pittsburgh, Jim had us there. I forget who we were playing with, but he had us play at that club, Pegasus.
Yeah.
And a lot of our shows, especially when they're local, like, either we're out off in these other old cities where, like, we've got like 5 people in front of us, like, okay, who are these dudes? When's the headliner going? Or if we play at home, it's just like we're hanging out with our friends.
Right.
Our friends are all there. Like, we don't really make money. We don't sell merch. It's just we're hanging out with our friends. It's more like, we've had it's almost like we're renting out a place for a private party. We go to Pittsburgh, and I remember like going there for the first time. We're out there, we're in the green room, we sound check, we look outside, whatever, as Jim's like, yeah, doors are in a little while. Me and John poke our head outside. There was a line like down the street. And he's like, they're all here for you. I think we might have actually been playing it ourselves. Well, I don't think we were opening for someone. And it was like, wait, these people are all here for us? It was like, it was crazy. And then, to your other point, when Jim did the first Electronic Saviors thing, it was really cool that I wrote Never Say Farewell in like the span of maybe a half hour or something like that. I had it all together and everything. And it was crazy. We did their release party at the Rex Theater in and we're playing the show, and that comp could not have been out for more than a month at that point. I think it came out it was February of 2010, and I think it came out in January of 2010, if I'm not mistaken. And never mind the fact that we drove there in a big snowstorm, and we were like going to the venue and like we were up to our waists in snow leaving his apartment where we crashed. People already knew the lyrics in Pittsburgh to Never Say Farewell. I'm like, wait, cool. I don't even know my lyrics. I can't even memorize my lyrics that quickly. I'm up on these shows like with a piece of paper sometimes, like hidden off to the side like a cheat sheet.
That's great. Yeah. All right.
Awesome,
yeah. And for me, no discussion of Pittsburgh is complete without. It's not there anymore, but the separated, extended green room of the 31st Street pub and the array of cock drawn onto the walls there. Once again,
I'm pretty sure I saw, Rick Furr had drawn one of me and John.
Oh, totally.
It was 100% there.
They were to scale too.
Oh.
You guys are killing me. Yeah, for the audience, if you played 31st Street pub, the green room was actually in a separate like tool shed, basically.
Yeah.
That had plumbing somehow. But it was just not 1 or 2 dicks, just like help me out, just like wallpapered and hand drawn dicks. It was it was like art. But
it was like some weird combination of like Keith Haring and the Museum of Sex.
So not there anymore. But from the top, we have both didn't go to high school and Pittsburgh. So now we will go to a flyout menu. We'll go to hypothetical spectacle. That's where we sort of distill your gestalt, your essence, down into something else, like an interface, the deep sea creature, or interface, the action movie. I thought it would be fun to do. We do this one a lot on Space Couch, but for specific reasons here on with Interface, I wanted to do. What would Interface, the video game, be like?
Oh Lord!
Would it be? I was thinking would it be like a Metal Gear Solid thing, where it's like you have just like a bag of inventory with like goggles that could show you visions of modern life, right? Or like the invisibility suit would grant you like body flow, or would it be like to reference our beautiful collaboration, Code Thief?
I would love the idea.
Would it be
so
like Code?
Just so your listeners know, Code Thief came out of the idea of making this fake version of Mega Man that was like referencing some of the big celebrities in our scene. So we were going to have like, Eskiel from Covenant be like, Final Man. Ronan Harris was going to be Boatman, and it was just going to go on from there. And it was just really fun. So, and then out of nowhere, we get this request from some guy. Hey, we're doing a tribute to video games.
Yeah, that was Volt 9000.
So John and I sat down with this MIDI file from Dr. Wily's Stage 1, and we did the most like tongue-in-cheek, over-the-top, like Terror Banana patches and heavy VNV drums, like heavy Funker Vote synth programming, just to go completely over the top, like tongue-in-cheek EBM. And then of course, Brian comes down and then the magic happened.
Yeah, it was great. Let's check out that is available. Code Thief 1000 put out a tribute to video games. Glass Apple Bonsai's on that. So in that light, if on the interface video game, in like Mega Man, when you defeated Crash Man, for example, you got crash bombs. Would you defeat other industrial stars and get their powers? Like if you defeat Rex Arcana, would it be like get equipped with FGFC fuzzy hat? Or
absolutely.
Okay, cool. And then like defeat Tom Shear, get Assemblage 23 baseline, and then you use that A23 baseline to like defeat System Sin, and then you get equipped with Jerry Curl haircut or whatever.
Nice.
Rex says, I feel it would look a lot like that rooftop video.
Oh, yes, that's right. I was once part of him and Delaney. When you were doing the Konami code, we were part of the roof troop.
We have collaborated a lot. I owe, as has been said on episodes, I owe a lot to Rex. One of the things was, unexpectedly, I just was expecting like a studio thing for guest vocals on a stream we did for the Gothicals, but nay, he organized his lovely wife Delaney and superstar Eric of Interface to go up on the rooftop and do like a Front 242 send up. That was so much fun.
Oh yeah, it was a parody of the Quite Unusual video with the remote controlled helicopter and
so good.
I borrowed a bunch of the tactical gear. And the worst part was it was like 90 degrees that day or something.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys are.
And he has one of those like silver reflective, like, Queens roofs that it's like super hot up there because of the reflected sunlight. But
are you guys in Queens?
That was fun.
Are you guys in Queens?
No.
Okay. We're right now in Long Island.
We're in Long Island. Okay. The reason I ask is I'm feeling out the differences a little bit more. Like New York is still very scary to me, but I'm getting a sense of the different boroughs.
No, we are in the middle of suburbia right now.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
We're in the nice suburban picket fence house of the billions.
Yeah. Nice, man. I'm in like. I'm great right now. Like, I'm kind of in like a shitty part of Boston, technically, but like the super nice part is like right across the street. So like it's like I get all the good stuff for like bad rent.
There you go.
But I got a ball pit, so it's like no price is too high. Yeah, let me know if you guys are ever in town and want to hang out. But we are hanging out now because as long as I'm in space, I figured I might as well use this opportunity to interview my friends in dope bands.
Totally.
Spellbound is available now at interfaceny.bandcamp.com. Everybody check that out. 2 versions of the track for the price of 1. Out on Distortion, right?
On Distortion, yes.
Yes. From the producers of the fine Electronic Saviors compilations we have been discussing, and sort of the if for my money the real what would you say engine of industrial music in Pittsburgh. And friend of Tiger's Club. So big shout out to Distortion Productions. Was glad to see you guys on there. Your label roster on that is just brutally strong with the Silver
crazy
Lux,
over here.
all the John Fryer stuff.
Yeah,
very exciting on Interface. I know you guys have been sort of like me, looking for a home in label world for a while, and I'm happy to see you guys are now with Distortion. But don't let me put words in your mouth. How's the experience been? I mean, like, is it
Distortion? Distortion was very weird because, like, so first of all, like, I went out to Pittsburgh Christmas week of 2018, and Jim was like, "Yeah, let's meet up," and he has me meet him at his favorite Chinese restaurant, which is like like up in the northern suburbs of Pittsburgh on this roof, like very tucked away. We were the only people in there.
Okay.
This was he's like, because this is like the greatest chicken you'll ever have.
It's always a restaurant, though. I mean, we discussed the Malaya contract on an IHOP.
That's hilarious.
Right. So, like, it's always a restaurant with us. Jim has all of his label meetings at restaurants. The other label meetings with him were like there was one, it was at Burgerology. Then there was another one that was at some other restaurant up in the North Hills. And this one was at this Chinese thing, and he's like, "Oh, I finally have my flagship act."
Tom Evans or something. Evans, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? Why are we a flagship act? I'm like, that's kind of like not the thing. I'm looking at all the acts on it. I'm like, you got all these other like amazing acts, and you're calling us the flagship? Like, that was kind of like weird. I'm like, okay.
Like, Sensuous Enemy has some great songs, but like, Interface is just like, it's like The Shining. Like, you've never not been here. It's love Interface.
I guess for us it was kind of like, that's kind of like not what I would expect from Distortion Productions. I didn't expect there to be any flagship act. I'm like, we're all on level ground, you know. Really, all it is.
That's true. Like, that's one of the cool things about industrial music. Like, it is. I mean, sure, there's tiers because that's the way that humans work. But as far as the scene goes, it is respectively egalitarian, I would say. Like, it's relative. Like, I shouldn't be on a first name basis with my heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy enough to meet your heroes, and like, I don't think there's ever going to be a world where Leatherstrip opens for me, but like, he knows who I am. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, that's pretty cool. I'm going to wrap these two questions into one, where it's like, I have it down here, like, tell me about your life, meaning like, you've been in the game, or we all have been in this electronic industrial game since high school, really. So, and then you look back, you're like, holy shit, I just headlined a festival in Inland or something like that. And it's like, what has this, I'll call it an experience, this 25-year air quotes experience of industrial music, what has that given back to you?
A lot of ups and downs.
Uh-huh.
I've had my share of misadventures over the years, but trying to get past it all now, trying to get into some better habits, some healthier living and everything. I'm closing in, I think, on 18 months now sober.
Hell yeah, dude.
Something that you're very familiar with as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, but, definitely.
There's one thing I've learned is, like, the scene is like a rubber band. And like, if you try pulling on it too much, where you just do the wrong shit in the world and you do wrong by people, it'll eventually snap back and come to you.
Oh yeah.
And I've come, even though I've been on the wrong end of it like once or twice in my life, and I've had to do like a lot of like apologies and stuff like that. I mean, there was almost a few times where like some of these things have almost like sank the band.
Oh god damn it. Yeah, man.
Some of these things have really, come back and bit me in the ass. But like, I've just found like you can't really like not that I want to, but like you can't get away with shit in this scene. Like any, you know,
too close.
It's too close, you know.
That is such a great point, because like your interface is the Tom Hanks of industrial music. Like, just everybody likes them, and now I'm sort of understanding why. Like, it's a rubber band, like, because everyone's thinking in their mind right now of that producer, or that, let's be honest, promoter from 2003, who's not around anymore, because that guy was a fucking dick. And like, you're all talking like, yeah, you don't want to work with Aaron, and you're like, I don't want to work with Aaron. And like, everybody kind of knows Aaron's an asshole, and then like, hey, you go to the show tonight? And you're like, I don't know, it's an Aaron gig. You know what? Aaron has to stop. That's why I stopped in 2003, and that's why Interface is still here. I'm sorry if you're listening and your name's Aaron. I just pulled that name out of nowhere. Andrea on YouTube says she seems uncommonly appreciative. Take gifts on my page. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's Andrew. I said your name was Andrea. I'm sorry. I'm way far back from the screen on my space console, and definitely not a laptop. Let's close on this. If anything, what is something about Interface people don't understand?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know. That's a tough one too.
Like, do you get a lot of like Interface jokes? Like, you called your band Interface, like
only from you, really.
Yeah, okay, it's cool. Yeah,
only from you. But I think maybe the only thing people don't I guess like understand is, you know, I just want like people. I mean, people sometimes ask me a lot about like, I don't understand what some of your songs are about, or like they about people, and like, or they get misconstrued a lot. Like,
well, that's interesting, because like Interface, and take this in the spirit in which is intended, because one of my gun to my head, my favorite band of all time is Kraftwerk. You know, a common answer, but that's true. And they have always struck me as extremely antiseptic and sterile, and that's what I like about them. And not sterile in terms of not being able to have kids, but sterile, like a medical. And Interface has always struck me that way too, with this almost like Swiss, just perfect precision, like surgery by a robot, no bacteria in the mix, sort of a thing. And that's just my interpretation of it. And so, like, but
I like to do the same thing, you know, where we like to have that precision too. Like, you know, I was very brought up by, you know, Kraftwerk, that stuff, and that but I also liked, you know, I was also a huge fan of Depeche Mode, where I tried to keep like, you know, a strong a bit of humanity into it. And I've always
there is a beating heart in that machine.
Oh yeah, no, I've always thought, like, you know, we've tried to avoid a lot of music about, like, you know, politics. Like, we like being pretty apolitical. You know, we don't like to talk about politics, you know, or anything, because also that can also date music as well.
It is wild to be like, I'm listening to like whatever, an informatic track, and then like a Ross Perot sample drops, and I'm like, oh my god, I am old as shit.
Yeah, but we've always like really liked having songs about the human condition, because I've noticed that those things really kind of like I've heard people like come to me and say like, oh, I heard Never Say Farewell and it made me think this, or or I listened to Destination, it made me think this, or I listened to this and it made me think that. And I'm like, it's cool, because they're all interpreting the songs the way they want to, and that's really kind of what I want to do. But you know, no, Eric Christopher, it didn't come from the name Interface. Actually came from when I was working at an electronics factory. I just thought it was a cool word. Little did I know that there, at the time that I picked it in 1993, there were 3 other active projects at the time. But this is what happens when I didn't have the internet to go, like, you know,
well, that's
researching band names.
That's awesome. That's true. Predates the internet. I love it. Well, we are on a flying cow. I knew this episode would go long. I just enjoy talking with you guys so much. And because I reference it a lot, Interface was the backup band, I will say, a house band for what ended up being this insanely life-changing show for me. Because I did it like 10 seconds after moving to Boston, had this gig in Amityville with and in my life at the time. An undiscovered Big Time Kill and an undiscovered Mary Catman, both of whom became like major players in the Brian. Not only an industrial music, but like my life, and then Interface was the Mary Catman band. That is, of course, in a pre-Helix world. Rex was there, and there was that insane. Do you guys remember that this bondage couple walked in?
Oh yes, the bondage couple walked in. Yeah,
and
the carpet guy wasn't there.
This dude, his lady friend was handcuffed all night. I was like, God damn, that is dedication to the bit.
I'm actually shocked that the carpet guy wasn't there. Feeling we have a guy in the scene out here that's a carpet. When he comes to the
does he have a carpet guy? Okay.
Yeah.
He comes to the venue.
He's great.
He just rolls himself up in a carpet and he wants you to stand on him.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that guy.
Because
I was stood out. We were playing with Silverlocks in Brooklyn. I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's like, no, it's cool. Oh yeah, okay. I forgot we played with that guy. But this fucking dude in Amityville, he's slapping his wife, I guess, his butt with a fly swatter, but way off time. Guys. So Mary's
that was pretty funny.
On whatever it is, 128 BPM, and he's going bop, 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 bop. So at least slap her butt to the song, you fucking asshole. But
that was a great gig though, because we played because we got asked to play up in Providence, Rhode Island, and that's where we met Big Time Kill and Mary Catman.
Blew us away.
They both blew us away. And so then it became a great friendship, because then Mary asked us to remix one of her tracks, which we did. Big Time Kill asked us to remix one of their tracks, which we
incredible because Interface did them. Because
and then that next year, that guy Tom was like, "Hey, I'm putting together a little Memorial Day thing. Do you got some bands?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, we do. We can talk to these guys." And then the Mary's bandmate breaks up that project, even though it was under her name.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, I don't know if we're gonna do." So John calls me. He's like, "Let's just be her backing band."
Yeah, that was so.
John and Justin were like, "Let's just do it." So we did. We had so much fun.
And then we all big shout out to Rex, who says Kevin Carpet is Instagram famous.
Yes, he is.
Who all had us over at his place, of course, the next morning.
I remember that. You were in that really nasty, looking hotel.
Yeah.
God, no, that was the second time.
That's a shelter now. That's how crazy
that's a homeless shelter now.
No way you should stay in that place.
Yes, the House Arcana opened up its door to you at the very last.
Oh God, yeah, I just found the cheapest thing on Hotwire, and it was like, you went to the what? And I was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. It was like a Motel 6 or something. And they're like, yeah, it says that, but no.
It's a Motel 12. It's not even a Motel 6.
It's like a Motel. It's not even like an integer. It's like a Motel 5 3/4.
They fenced that thing off like it's a demilitarized zone.
Oh God, that's fucking funny. And it's a shelter now. Okay, that's your out. Everybody go to interfaceny.bandcamp.com. Pick up Spellbound or you're fired from the show. Big up to the Unikilled Machine and Andrew Gojdevich and Superstar Rex Arcana. Shout out to House Arcana here on Space Couch. Call the spaceship's dead party. Space Couch. Ouch! Goodbye. I let us talk over the end credits here, but I forgot to put up the oh no, I don't have the actual thing. That's all right. I had Space Couch, the Patreon, up earlier. All right, Space Couch out.